Man, Andrew Tate. That should not, man. This ain't top G no more. This ain't top G. I got two nicknames for Andrew Tate now, right? I got two nicknames. We could either start calling Andrew Tate, who, in my opinion, just lost a lot of aura. We could either call this guy Top G or Top P. I don't think Andrew Tate expected the fight to go like that. Did anybody else expect that? I cannot believe Andrew Tate gassed out after 2 rounds of competing in a boxing fight against Chase Damore. 2 rounds. Obviously, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but watching, hold on, let me set this up real quick. Let me go ahead and get something ready real quick, my friend. So I don't think Andrew Tate expected the fight to go like that. I don't think so. I don't know what he's gonna come out and say. What is the response that Andrew Tate is gonna come out and say after all the crap talking he's did? You know, all the belittling that he was doing to Chase the more, basically making Chase feel like a poor guy, like a broke guy. Some of the things that Andrew Tate was saying was basically that's what basically he was referring. And I felt like, man, dude, I thought Andrew Tate was gonna go in there and be able to beat this dude. But what the hell was that? What was that? Absolutely horrible. One of the most horrible, in my opinion, is one of the most horrible showings, performances that we have seen from a fighter in a long time, dude. Andrew Tate, obviously, we seen him at the press conference smoking the cigar. You guys didn't see that? He's smoking a cigar during the last post press conference. And it shocked me, dude. We made a video reacting to it. We said this guy's over here smoking cigars. I'm still confident in him, but it scared me. And I talked about that. And I feel like now that we've seen how the fight turned out, Warren Spencer giving Andrew Tate a cigar was absolutely horrible. I mean, dude, why would you smoke a cigar at a press conference, act like you're this? Oh, top G, fool. I'm starting to call this guy bottom G now. How are you going to be smoking a cigar at a press conference, talking the crap, talking about, oh, I got 4 different Bugattis. 4 different Bugattis. This is my fifth one. Oh, okay. Chase the more. You're poor. This and that. You know, basically putting him down and putting down poor people. And the aura that bottom G now has, in my opinion, has completely fouled. Who else? Kimber 89 $35. Wow. Wait, is that if you really did that, man? Shout out to you, my boy. I don't think we could get that right now, but hell yeah, my boy. Whatcha? Anyways, it's crazy that if you really donated $35, that'd be tight, man. I gotta see how you did that because my donations are open, but I got flagged for posting a video reacting to Bryce Mitchell not too long ago. And I wasn't even agreeing to what he was saying. I just reacted to it. YouTube flagged me and literally got me in trouble for a 2 month suspension. So for 2 months now, I've been on suspension. It is the worst fight I have ever seen. Every YouTube fights and 8 years ago was better, more fun to watch. That was embarrassing, bro. Andrew Tate got gassed out within 2 rounds. 2 rounds. What the hell was that? Seriously, bro. It was embarrassing. It wasn't just like, oh, he went in there, he lost the fight, right? We see Tony Ferguson fight against Warren Spencer. Warren Spencer at least survived into the last round and almost got knocked out, but at least survived. I feel like Andrew Tate was done by round 2. It was, dude. I am never, ever in my life ever gonna tell anybody, gonna put any money, gonna convince anybody that Andrew Tate is a great boxer, because I'm telling you right now, that was one of the most horrible, horrible performances that I have ever seen in my life. Seriously. Hands down the whole time. We knew, if you study tape on Andrew Tate, if you watch some of the videos of him sparring, who the hell, what was he doing? Was he even training? Did Andrew Tate even train for this fight? Because we've seen videos of him sparring, right? If you do, you guys remember seeing videos of Andrew Tate spar, even against ex-boxers? Go look on YouTube, Andrew Tate sparring, and a bunch of videos will come up. If you guys follow Andrew Tate on social media, he's sparring with his friends. He's following social media guys. He even spars MMA fighters and likes to post them. But now that I think about it, those clips, those sparring sessions are less than a minute long. Are less than a minute long. Did Andrew Tate prepare himself at all? At all? I'm gonna tell you guys right now, he didn't. That was one of the most embarrassing performances I have ever seen in my life. Andrew Tate, don't even KSI would be able to beat Andrew Tate. Am I wrong or not? How many people out there think KSI could beat Andrew Tate? Give me a name right now after watching Andrew Tate perform in the boxing ring. Jake Paul sleeps him. Jake Paul sleeps Andrew Tate. I'm telling you guys right now. Jake Paul puts Andrew Tate to sleep in less than 5 rounds. Jake Paul, if you guys haven't heard, shout out to him, praying for the recovery. He's got 2 broken jaws on both sides. 2 broken jaws. And this is what happens when you decide to play games and come into boxing and test the integrity of the sport. Because Anthony Joshua held down the integrity of boxing. He held down the sport. He let people know that this isn't the type of sport that you could come into being some type of YouTuber, somebody like me, right? Somebody who hasn't had as many professional fights as Jake Paul, right? But somebody who's been, sparring, had a lot of sparring sessions, about 100, had a bunch of time spent in the gym. But I make YouTube videos. Could you imagine if I was on here right now claiming that I could beat Ryan Garcia? Imagine if I stepped into the ring with Devin the Dream Haney. Would my jaw be broken? Would I not walk out with something broken on my body? For a fact. Shout out, what's up, Jamie A? Shout out to anybody who's watching right now. Hit the like button. For a fact, I will not be able to last inside a ring with a professional boxer. And if I do, I am getting hurt. My knees, my elbows will probably get hurt from actually trying too hard. So Jake Paul suffers 2 broken jaws and had 7 teeth removed. 7 teeth. Jake Paul had 7 teeth removed. Could you imagine? Imagine losing 7 teeth. I've lost 1 tooth. I've lost 1 tooth right now. I've been cracked on the street, been stumbled. Remember coming back, looking at my teeth, had a missing tooth. And I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, right? Is it possible? And in my opinion, do you guys think, and I think Jake Paul, you are not him? Hey, yeah, man. Of course I'm not, bro. Anyways, do you guys think Jake Paul is ever going to come back into a boxing ring? After what I saw, I can say KSI would win Tate. Now he's top Al. Top Al? I like bottom G, or I like top P. Top P is Andrew Tate's new nickname, bro. I think KSI beats Andrew Tate. I think Jake Paul beats Andrew Tate. Does Tyrone Woodley beat Andrew Tate? What do you think? Does Tyrone Woodley have a shot at beating somebody like Andrew Tate? Ever since Tyrone Woodley has been competing in boxing, He hasn't won a fight, right? He's 0-3. Andrew Tate just give us one of the worst performances that we've ever seen in my life. If you guys didn't notice, Andrew Tate, for some reason, cannot stop putting forward pressure. When the ref was trying to break him up, Andrew Tate's body was literally putting pressure, leaning up, leaning forward. When the ref was backing him up and they were spreading him to restart action, Andrew Tate's body was still leaning forward. And he was just and just getting down. And absolutely just a horrible performance. And I was like, dude, what I was expecting from Andrew Tate was the pullback counter. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting Andrew Tate to come in, throw a right hand, a left hook, and Andrew Tate was gonna hoop. I thought Taysom Moore was gonna throw the hooks, and Andrew Tate was gonna hook and boom, counter. But nope, he can't even do that, bro. He can't even do that. Honestly, that was embarrassing. And never in my life do I ever think that Andrew Tate is gonna step into a boxing ring again. I don't, man. I don't think Andrew Tate is a fighter. I don't think he deserves to be in any boxing ring with anybody before he stops smoking cigars at press conferences like he's a goddamn G when we just learned he ain't the top G anymore, right? You just lost to Chase the Moore, who, in my opinion, he's the heavyweight champion of the world. Yes, he weighed 30 pounds heavier than you. Yes, he was putting his weight on you, but you still didn't have the skills to move out the way and allow and push Chase the Moore. Get him off you. Get him off you. Move your feet. You weren't doing none of that. And I feel like I've learned something new in the sport, my friends. It's no matter how big, how tall, how much money you got, how much crap you talk, how just confident you are. It does not matter. At the end of the day, throwing hands is completely different, my friends. So it's crazy to see Andrew Tate go down like that, my friends. But right now, we're going to be talking about Amado Vargas next. I want to talk about Amado Vargas, man. I can't believe Amado Vargas didn't knock him out, but I'm gonna be honest and say I'm still excited. I'm still happy to see the damage that he did to Deen the Great. I know Deen the Great was still, it was getting me mad because he was still talking crap when the fight ended, and I was just like, you know what, dude? Sometimes some guys just don't learn their lesson. Dean the Great's gonna be one of those type of guys who ain't gonna learn this lesson, who is gonna go back and he's gonna go back and just talk the most crap, go on to social media and say that Amado Vargas was cheating the whole time, that he was being a dirty fighter. But Amado Vargas went in there and absolutely held it down, bro. He held it down. He represented for his family. He represented for the Vargas dynasty. He represented his mom. And in my opinion, I give him an A+ for the performance he had. I mean, a knockout would have been better, but I think he was being aggressive. He was being aggressive with Dean the Great, bro. And I don't think Dean the Great was ready for that at all. I think Dean the Great was expecting to have a clean boxing fight with Amado Vargas. But after you do something like that, after you talk about somebody's mom being a torta and beating the beans and tacos out of their stomach. After you do something like that, it doesn't matter what race. You seen Anthony Taylor talk about India, right? You seen him talk about India. What did Niraj do to him? What did Niraj do to him? He beat him up. Anthony Taylor had nothing. So it was a dirty fight, and in my opinion, the ref could have got way more involved with the Amado Vargas fight. I think he could have, took away a point from Amado because at times Amado was hitting in the back of the head. But that's what you get when you talk crap like that, my homie. That is what you get. Amado Vargas put himself kind of on the map in the last round. Dean the Great was having some success. Deen, I feel like dude needs to stop boxing already. Of course, dude's just getting to the bag, taking advantage of everybody, fighting all misfits. But that's somebody that I'm definitely not interested in, in really watching that much anymore. Amado Vargas needs to continue on building his game. Amado Vargas needs to continue to build his game if he wants to have any type of success. Because what was that fight at today? Amado Vargas, 136 pounds? 136 pounds was the Amado Vargas versus Deen the Great fight. And I feel like personally, when you look at the 135-pound champions in boxing, you got Shakur Stevenson, WBC, you got Raymond Micheletta, IBF, right? You got Javante Tank Davis, right? And I feel like, dude, hold on, let me take this ball quick. Let me go ahead and, spice it up a little bit, my friends. Here we go, man. What you guys think of the fights, though, bro? What you guys think of the fights? And the other cat, yeah, the other cat that you got in the 135-pound division is Abdullah Mason, right? Who's coming out that fight with Sam Noakes. If Amado Vargas wants to have any type of shot ever in the professional realm of real boxing and the sanctioning bodies in the top 15, he's going to have a lot of work to do, my friends. But tell me, what you guys think of the fights, my friends? Was that an absolutely embarrassing performance that Andrew Tate just gave us? Was Andrew Tate capping? Is he been capping this whole time, thinking that he's a good fighter in his head, coming into the boxing world, thinking that he can transition from kickboxing to boxing? Was he overthinking it? Because boxing is a whole completely different game, bro. That's one thing people don't realize when they come into the sport. A lot of these social media content creators, a lot of these kickboxers, a lot of these MMA fighters. You seen Mike Perry, right? UFC fighter, Nate Diaz, Anderson the Spider Silva. We back. A lot of love from Lativa. Going to sleep. It's 2:30 a.m. Enjoy your day. Shout out to you, my boy from Lativa, man. Shout out to you for reals, bro. I actually usually don't go live, but we're gonna start going live again. We're gonna start going live again, start getting used to the flow again. Once again, go ahead and put the TV on. We're gonna put some BKFC on right now. Go ahead and watch these Parker Porter fights today. See how that's going. All right. I'm just gonna put on the stream real quick, my friends. Hold on. I'm gonna put the stream on real quick and we'll get back to talking about boxing, recapping Andrew Tate, Chase the Moore, all the fights on there, recapping Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. My boy Anthony Joshua in the hospital. Jake Paul in the hospital, man. Seven missing teeth. This game ain't no joke. This game ain't no joke. And I think we got two examples this week, bro. It wasn't just Anthony Joshua who made an example of Jake Paul, but it was also guys like Tony Ferguson making examples of Warren Spencer, and also guys like Chase Demore making examples of guys like Andrew Tate, who claimed to be the top G. When realistically, I don't know if Andrew Tate was ever G'ing it, right? Technically, maybe from a money standpoint, maybe from a getting the females from the OnlyFans standpoint, but was he really ever the top G? Let me see. I'm gonna put on this. Hold on, you guys. Trying to watch these BKFC fights real quick, but I got it right here. What'd you guys think of the fights, though, man? What did you guys think of the fights? Are you an Andrew Tate supporter? Are you now looking at him differently? Was that an aura drop that Andrew Tate just suffered? Did Andrew Tate just lose his nickname from top G to now top P or bottom G or top L? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's still a millionaire though. That's all I know. And yeah, I mean, he could get me right there. He could get me right there. But I'm telling you guys right now, I think I could last. I know for a fact I could last a good 6 rounds, not 2 rounds and then gas out. I could last a good 6 rounds. You know, usually we do our sparring sessions when we go hard on hard days. It would have been like 3 rounds with one dude. Then we did another 3 rounds with one dude. Then I got in another 3 rounds with one dude. And then we finished off 3 rounds with highly tough competitors. So by the end of the night, we were doing 12 round sparring sessions, right? So 2 rounds, I think Andrew Tate definitely felt the fatigue. I think that's what happened in this fight. I think he got nervous. I think maybe he thought, yo, I haven't competed in a boxing fight since 2020, but I'm trying to find the stream at the same time while I talk. But I thought I could come in here and do some action. I thought I could get active against Chase Moore. It turns out I'm a little older than I thought. It turns out I'm a little rustier than I thought. I think Andrew Tate didn't expect that to happen tonight, or else he probably would have never took the fight. What do you guys think on that? Let's see. We're watching some BKFC. Anthony Garrett versus Parker Porter today, my friends. Doing a little. We're reacting to the fights that just went on right now between Andrew Tate, supposedly top G, Chase Moore, Tony Ferguson, Warren Spencer, Anthony Taylor, also getting put in his place. Deen the Great getting put in his place. Two guys that was bringing up countries, both went down. Just another example of why you should, watch what you say, because Something might translate in the ring, man. Somebody might come in with a lot of anger. You seen how Amado Vargas came out in the first round? I was tripping, to be honest with you. When Amado Vargas came out in the first round against Dean the Great with that much activity, with that much combinations, I was like, oh, damn, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is, a fatigue. This is definitely everything that Dean the Great has said has got to him, although he better not gas out. And I seriously was thinking that it was possible Amado was going to gas out by the third round. I thought it was possible. Just the action that he was coming in and with the aggressiveness that he was putting on in the first round. But he came in shape, bro. He came in shape. And I think also another thing is as you go to the corner, you're Fernando Vargas Sr., you're his brothers, you're the cut man, you're right there, you're talking to this fool in between every single round. And you're telling him, like, bro, go out there and do this for your mom. He called your mama fat torta. So I feel like other than like Dean the Great, right? You could go up to him and tell him, "Hey, do this. Do this for your kids." Does Dean the Great even have kids? I don't think so. Do this for what? He already got some money and stuff. So when you go to Amado Vargas, he had a lot of pressure, a lot to represent, and I felt like he was nervous seeing him come out with super crazy activity, but he came in here and represented, bro. He came in here, held it down. I was kind of mad that he didn't jump over the tables at the press conference, but in my opinion, he beat down Dean the Great. Not only did he beat him down, but he was being dirty with him. He was hitting him with behind the headshots. Hold on, let me get this stream started real quick. Let's watch some BKFC tonight, my boys. Hold on. Bro, Andrew Tate should have definitely worked more on his stamina. That's what I was saying is, what was Andrew Tate doing for cardio? Can somebody tell me? What was he doing? Was he running 6 miles a day in the morning? Was he running, I don't know, 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles, at nighttime? By the way, by the time the fight ended, it was 3:45 in the morning. Was Andrew Tate, training during the nighttime? Did he adjust to that? Did he We seen him smoke the cigar, right, Earl? You seen the press conference. You seen Warren Spencer pass the cigar to Andrew Tate at the press conference, and when he did that, I was like, "Ooh, this is a confident guy. He's doing this for clout, right? Top G. It gives him that persona. This guy, dragon tattoo going across his chest, coming in here, the rich guy, the cool guy." Lit up the cigar, and I said to myself, if you check out the reaction video, you don't got to. But I was reacting and saying, I hope that that does not translate to the fight. I hope he's focused and I hope he's confident enough to be able to light that cigar up, knowing that you got to fight in 2 days. So I feel like he wasn't taking it serious, bro. I feel like he didn't work on his stamina enough. I think there's things he could have did. Now, probably after fighting, he's probably realizing, thinking to himself, what did I just do? Do you guys think that he lost his aura? I honestly think this drops his aura a lot, man. I mean, how are you the top G when you just lost to arguably one of the worst heavyweight champions in the world in the sport of boxing? I'm talking about across all organizations, right? Russian organizations, intercontinental champions, WBC continental champions, silver champions, gold champions, Latin American champions. I think because he is the Misfits heavyweight champion, technically, Chase Moore is the worst champion out there in the world, and it will not ever or has a chance of being sanctioned, ranked in the sanctioning bodies. Shut up. Yeah, bro. I am afraid he kind of lost aura. I think he did, bro. I think he did. Now, you know, Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. Yes, he knocked him down, but he lost to him. And I think, yes, Jake Paul lost a little bit of aura during that fight, right? Remember that? A lot of people gave up on him. It kind of felt like the rise that he was having just stopped. But we ended up seeing he comes back and it lights the fire once again under himself. Now he just lost to Anthony Joshua. But it is very possible that a year from now, if he comes back, and let's just say this. What if what if Jake Paul decides to fight, I don't know, um, who should Jake Paul fight next that is somebody he could possibly beat? Um, Tony Ferguson. I don't know, Tyrone Woodley. I mean, he already knocked him out. Who could be next for Jake Paul? Oh, Francis Ngannou. Yes. What if Jake Paul comes back and has an automatic heavyweight fight once again, but this time instead of facing, I don't know, Javante Tank Davis or any one of these type of smaller guys, instead of facing a cruiserweight actual guy who's ranked by the sanctioning bodies, you go and fight Francis Ngannou. Tim Bradley. Hey, Tim Bradley versus Jake Paul would be absolutely ridiculous. The problem is, I feel like if Jake Paul would have beat Anthony Joshua, we seen Andre Ward, right? Talk about wanting to come out and be the guy to do it if this fool gets through him. I don't know if that's, a fight that really interests Timothy Bradley after Jake Paul beating Anthony Joshua. Now, I think it would interest him if he gets offered $30 million or $20 million, right? Timothy Bradley, I love his commentating. I love his fights, right? That fight with Ruslan was absolutely ridiculous. But the one thing that bothers me about him that I could still never get over, I agree with a lot of his takes that he makes on YouTube. It's the fact that he thinks he beat Manny Pacquiao, right? Do you guys remember that? Hey, what up, buddy? What's up, Mr. KO? Shout out to you, man. Did you watch the fights? Um, Timothy Bradley's cool, man. I like him a lot. But when he beat Pacquiao, he did not win that fight. And all right, you guys, I gotta take my son his sweater real quick because he's with his grandma right now. They're playing outside. So let me go ahead and grab his sweater real quick. Hold on. Had to work, unfortunately, man, but bottom G got whipped. How was that? Oh. Hey, Mystic, bro. Horrible. Horrible. Andrew Tate, one of the worst stamina tanks that I've ever seen in my life, bro. I've never seen no. Me and you definitely won't be looking at Andrew Tate ever the same. But like I was saying with Jake Paul, he lost those two times and returned. Is there a possibility that Andrew Tate can think about what just happened, go running for the next 6 months, make a return against KSI, and maybe or have a rematch, have an automatic rematch with Chase the Moore and have an opportunity to regain that aura? What if Andrew Tate comes out and says, I smoked too much cigars? I smoked too much cigars. That's the reason why I lost that fight. And he tries to act like he's too cool. He tries to blame the weight with Chase the Moore. Maybe, I should have put a rehydration clause on him. And stuff like that. Will the top G fans still continue to follow him? Didn't expect that, man. Didn't expect he had a gas like that. Bro, I'm telling you guys, that was one of the worst performances in boxing history that I have ever seen. And I've seen some horrible ones, right? We've seen some all bad performances. But Tyrone Woodley, for an example, right? Ben Askren, for an example. Nate Robinson. It's been pretty bad lately, man. But uh, Andrew Tate had to surpass them when it comes to what we thought about him. What I thought about Andrew Tate was that he was gonna go in here and beat Jason Moore. That this was top G. That yes, he hasn't fought in 5 years, but we've seen the videos of him sparring. We've seen the quick athleticism. What happened to all the pullbacks? Do you remember watching Andrew Tate pulling back from him? Pulling back when he was sparring with a lot of dudes with his hands down. He would literally go huh and then counter, boom, huh, boom, counter. That wasn't there, bro. It wasn't there. Saying, man, I had Tate to beat this guy, but that was just an awful showing. Never in my life will I ever tell anybody, post a video telling people that Andrew Tate is gonna beat somebody. I don't care if Andrew Tate fights against Jake Paul. If it's against KSI. If Andrew Tate fights KSI, I'll put money on KSI. Straight up. And how many times could we say that, Mystic? How many times would we have thought in our head? How many times would you ever think to put money on KSI? Never. I would never do it. But against somebody like Andrew Tate, I think KSI knocks him out, dude. I think KSI knocks him out. The aggressiveness. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm having a great day, my friend. I'm having a fantastic day. You had Amado Vargas put Deen the Great in his spot, represent. You had Andrew Tate get absolutely exposed. You also had Anthony Joshua protect the integrity of the boxing sport. You have Tony Ferguson. What about Tony Ferguson? My goodness, bro. Tony Ferguson, I love it, dude. Back-to-back wins. And now is what? The Misfits middleweight champion of the world? I would love to see him take on Darren Till, right? I would love to see that fight. I don't know who that other dude is that they brought inside the ring right after that fight. We don't keep up with Misfits boxing and like know every single boxer out of this organization because they got their own rankings, right? They got their own champions. But when you look at the champions, you say to yourself, Misfits is not the most serious organization out there, right? I think with even the PFL getting a new owner and everything, John Martin, I think them making the ranking system the same way as the UFC, I think they're a little bit more professional, in my opinion. So, and you've seen it today on today's card. It wasn't the most highly level of talent, right? You seen Anthony Taylor? That's great. Did you see Anthony Taylor, bro? Um, Anthony Taylor, what is he? An ex Bellator fighter, got a bunch of clout, saw Dylan Dennis in the street in a little street fight, rocked him. You guys remember Dylan Dennis hits his back on the truck, boom, and it amazes me how Anthony Taylor has continued to stay and keep himself just somebody with emotion in this boxing world, in this Misfits organization. He's not even an ex UFC fighter or nothing like that. But he was talking crap on India. And if you guys don't remember, he was saying the country can't produce any good boxers, which I completely disagree with. Now we got a fighter like Nishant Dev, who just came into the world of boxing, who has great, great skills from the Olympics. He's a great, great talent. And I feel like he was just being extra to be able to promote this fight. You had Niraj go in there and just he beat him up, bro. Anthony Taylor was putting the pressure. He was trying to do great work. He was trying to come in here and bully him, but it wasn't working. And Niraj was boxing him, keeping his distance, ducking under punches, catching him with the left hook, catching him with the jab to the body. Was a little bit too skillful, too good for Anthony Taylor. All right. I only gave what? I only gave Anthony Taylor 2 rounds in that fight, my friends. So Niraj, great, great performance. Now, Anderson the Spider Silva. What about Anderson Silva, bro? Anderson Silva has to be literally, I mean, one of the greatest combat athletes of all time, right? Demetrius Johnson, yes, absolutely amazing. GSP, John Jones, all these guys are absolutely amazing. But what I have seen lately from Anderson the Spider Silva, I feel like he continues to just make this argument stronger and stronger for himself on why he is and deserves to be called one of the greatest of all time, bro. Anderson Silva, 50 years old. One of the things that we were doing was trying to compare the skin of Anderson Spider Silva compared to Tyrone Woodley's skin. And I swear I said it. Tyrone Woodley was 43 years old, but he looked older. He looked a lot older than Anderson Silva. So when I seen that, and then we seen the weigh-ins with Anderson and Spider Silva towering, just towering over. Hold on, let me connect this. Hold on, you guys. Trying to get this stream started right here. Hold on. Taking me a little minute. All right, you guys. We're gonna be back on later on. Talk about some boxing. Talk about some UFC. I'm gonna go get my son right now, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.